Hi, I'm Derryl Gabel. Thanks for joining me today. In this course, I'd like to show you some methods to hopefully help you improve playing over chord changes. You know, for years, the way I approached playing over changes would be that I would call it a key center approach. In other words, I would see a tune and look at all the keys that the tune goes through, and I would just think about those keys when improvising without any regard to the chords per se. So for example, if we take the tune All the Things You Are, it starts out in the key of A flat major and then it modulates to the key of C, and then it goes to E flat major and modulates to the key of G, and so forth. So in the past, I would just think about, I'm going to play, lines, licks, ideas in the key of A flat, and then when it modulates to C, I'm just going to think about the key of C, and so on, and not really thinking about every chord that's going by. Now, I would be using my ear to tell me and kind of guide me as far as like what notes are sounding good, what notes to land on, and so forth, but I wouldn't really be bringing out the essence of the chord changes oftentimes using this approach. So sometimes I would play a really good solo and other times maybe not so good. So I started thinking about this whole concept of chord tone soloing, and it's basically the way a lot of bebop guitar players or just bebop musicians, the way they think about improvising, and they think about every chord that they're playing on, and they're outlining those chords using arpeggios. That would be the backbone, as it were, and it really brings out the essence of the changes. So in this course, that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at methods to help your arpeggios become very strong so you can see all the chord tones, so that you can use that as the backbone or like a tree to build your lines around. Think of the arpeggio like a tree, and then you're going to dress up the tree with, you're going to put some leaves on it and some fruit and so forth, if that makes sense. So before we get started though, we are going to look at some harmony, and I would recommend that you would go through my course Modal Fluency if you haven't already, because that is going to prepare you for what we're going to cover here coming up. So assuming that you've gone through my course Modal Fluency and you've mastered all that, now let's take a look at chord progressions, where they come from, how they're created, and how to analyze a tune. Once we do that, going forward after that, a lot of this stuff is going to make a lot more sense. So let's get started.